What's up, everyone? Dr. Zapata here. I am super excited. We have a new doc coming to join Emerald City Spinal Care later this month, and I thought that I would introduce you all by just doing a quick little interview with him. So I want to introduce you all to Dr. Brendon Paul. Dr. Brendon, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be a part of this team. Um, yeah, I'm just very excited to be here.
Cool. I should ask, because I don't think I have gone over this with you. How would you like everyone to refer to you as? You want to be Dr. Brendon, Dr. Paul?
It's funny. I have a colleague who's also Dr. Paul,
Hmm.
and so we actually made a little joke between ourselves, like, well, we can't be both Dr. Paul. So he actually goes by his middle name, and then I prefer just to be called Dr. Brendon.
Okay.
I want a little more of a personal yet professional connection with my clients. So I think Dr. Brendon is appropriate.
Awesome. We'll make sure to call you Dr. Brendon. I go by Dr. Zapata, and honestly, that's because that's what I've gone by since the beginning. And if I
Sure.
could go back in time, I would definitely go by Dr. Christine instead of
Mhm.
Dr. Zapata because, like you said, it's just a little bit more. It's not as formal, I think,
Mhm.
as the Dr. Zapata. But all right,
Mhm.
great. Everybody, this is Dr. Brendon. We're so excited to have Dr. Brendon come on board. Dr. Brendon, will you give everybody just a quick background on yourself? Where are you from? And where'd you go to school? Um, and how did you get into chiropractic?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm originally from Missouri. So I'm a Midwestern boy. It's not Missouri. If anyone says Missouri, you're not from Missouri. So I have my family has a chicken farm, chicken and cattle farm in Missouri. We have an 11-acre farm. And so how I got into chiropractic is I was in the military. And so when I got out of the military, I was kind of going through that transition of how they teach you veteran to civilian. However, in personal work, you're never going to be a civilian again. And so I was trying to kind of go through that process, but I was also I was in a lot of physical pain, just from wear and tear. And so I went to see a chiropractor and near where we were living at the time. And he was a full spine chiropractor. Actually, he was not an upper cervical chiropractor. And he just, I mean, it was one adjustment and everything changed. And I knew that this idea of chiropractic was a gift that I wanted to give back to people. And I definitely knew right then and there that my soul signed up in this life to be of service to people. And I think being a chiropractor is what I'm meant to do.
Yay.
Um, and so from then on, I did a 2-year accelerated bachelor degree in order to meet the requirement to get into Life University in Marietta, Georgia, where I am um, going to be, I will have graduated from, and then now I'm moving up here to Seattle, all the way across the country.
Yeah, we're really excited about that. For those of you who are watching this, Dr. Brendon is actually going to be participating in graduation next week, correct?
Next
Yeah,
Friday.
next Friday. It's going to be official next Friday, which is awesome.
Mhm.
And tell people kind of what you've been doing since you left Marietta, because I know you're not in Marietta anymore. You actually
Mhm.
finished all of the stuff that you needed to do at Life University, and now you're in.
So I'm finishing my clinical residency program. Some schools call it a preceptorship. At Life, we call it a peak. And it stands for performance excellence, academic, so on and so forth. And so I'm working now in a full upper cervical office practicing the Blair technique. So I am very comfortable performing the Blair adjustments and using the Blair analysis to help people. And like you said, I finished up all of my requirements, so I've gone through all the education, all the courses, all the certifications, all the everythings, and I'm ready to take everything that I've accumulated in school and in clinical practice and come over and join you guys at Emerald City and serve the people of Seattle.
Yeah, yeah, we're really excited for that. And I think that it's great. One of the things that I think sets you apart from some of the other associate doctors that we have brought on is you've already been adjusting people using the Blair upper cervical technique. While you are just graduating, you're very, very comfortable with adjusting. You've done some um, extra training, like you were saying, you're essentially in an internship or a residency program where you're continuing these things. So that's great. I think that that is going to really help the people that we see here in our office. So it's just a really good I think, addition, or not necessarily addition, but a wonderful quality that you have. I think that that's really going to help our patients who are coming here just feel more comfortable because while you are coming straight out of school, like you're very, very knowledgeable uh, and um, and what's the word? I can't think of it. Um, you're proficient in the Blair upper circle
Mm.
technique. I think that that is very, very important. So we're really excited to bring you on.
Yes. And one thing I'll say is that I'm really appreciative of the Blair Society because they actually added on a proficiency exam and certification that you can earn while you're a student. And I was lucky enough to be one of the first students to have earned that proficiency certification.
Yeah, that's great. I think that the fact that you would do that as a student and not wait until after you got out, I think speaks volumes for just how passionate you are about the Blair upper cervical technique and just how committed you are to always learning and just making sure that we refer to it in chiropractic as just sharpening the sword,
Hmm.
sharpening the axe. So, yay. Now, because you are going to be moving to Seattle,
Hmm.
I would love to know what are you most excited about relative to moving to Seattle?
Well, like I said before, I'm a Midwestern boy, so I'm used to living on a farm and having spread out houses and grassy fields. So this is going to be a new and exciting opportunity for me to live in the city, to experience city life, the people. I actually have while in school, I had a Blair mentor who frequently traveled to Seattle, and he's a big coffee drinker. And so he says, you have to go to if one of these days in the summer, you have to try to find like this strip of just coffee shops. And instead of bar hopping, they go like to different coffee shops. And so he said every time he would go, he'd love to go out and do that. Um, so I'm excited for the city life. I'm excited to get the feel of different energy, see different people, because they're definitely going to be a quite the it's going to be quite the transition from quiet farm life to big city or big-ish city
Yeah.
life, you know?
Yeah. Yes, Seattle is definitely a concrete jungle. There isn't a whole lot of open greenery
Hmm.
here, so very
Right.
different than the 11-acre farm that you grew up on. But
Hmm.
um, when it comes to coffee, I think that there are a lot of patients that come to Emerald City's Fountain Care that are into
Yeah.
coffee.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of them work in coffee shops. They're baristas. Some of them will roast coffee beans. So those of you who are watching this, if you are a fan of coffee or you have anything to do with the coffee scene here in Seattle, please help Dr. Brendon out and steer him in the right direction when it comes to coffee.
Hmm.
Everybody knows I'm not a coffee drinker, so I'm not the best person to ask for coffee advice, but I have
Hmm.
plenty of other people here who can help you with that. Now, let's go the opposite end of the
Hmm.
spectrum. What are you maybe? least excited about or maybe more anxious about when it comes to moving to Seattle?
So my fiance and I we will be together in Poulsbo, which is just north. I could
Mhm.
be saying that completely wrong, maybe of
West?
Bainbridge, west of
Oh,
Bainbridge.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And so we've definitely traveled over to Seattle frequently because there's definitely some fun things that we can do. I will say I am not a fan of the stoplights and the traffic. There's a lot. Being a Midwestern boy and you have a stoplight every maybe 5 miles, it's a lot. It's kind of like, stop and go, stop and go.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say that doesn't make me excited to move to Seattle, but it does cause some angst when
Yeah.
trying to commute around, and I definitely see why people prefer to walk or use the
Yeah.
those electric scooters that you find just scattered around the city.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, the traffic here, really, I think anywhere up and down the West Coast isn't the best. And
Hmm.
again, coming from Missouri, living on an 11-acre farm, where I imagine in your area there probably weren't a whole lot of stop lights, maybe like stop signs like here and there, but
Hmm.
more country roads
Hmm.
than what we've got here in Seattle.
Hmm.
Um, Now, those of you watching this, Dr. Brendon is going to be living in Poulsbo. So if any of you have tips on getting across the Sound and into Seattle uh,
Hmm.
on the ferry or whatever, give Dr. Brennan all of your tips.
Hmm. Please.
Now, I always like asking associate doctors before they come on,
Mhm.
describe the type of people or cases that you get most excited about working with.
So I would say I am really looking for, and I'm really excited to meet and find other young professionals like myself. I think if you look back at a lot of the doctors who, a lot of cool, what people think a doctor looks like is, an older gentleman or an older female who has, they have experience, they have a little bit of gray, right? And so when they meet someone like me who's 25, um, and actually I'm graduating with a colleague who's 22. She just sped through school. Yeah, she's 22 and going to be a doctor. So I'm looking
Wow.
for young professionals. I like the idea of meeting people who are excited about the future. They want to make a change, they want to make a difference, and they want to make their voices heard. I'm also looking for people who are action takers, and action takers specifically about their health. I myself am a very dedicated, I am a very purposeful person when it comes to both professional life and personal life, and especially about my health. So people who have tried other things and they haven't found the result that they're looking for, and they keep going after it. They keep getting after their health. They keep getting up every morning and trying something new. And I believe that chiropractic is always, in my experience, that something new that tends to propel them into that next tier of their health.
I think that that's great. With the area that our office is in, we definitely tend to see younger professionals. A lot of them work in tech, and a lot of the people that we see in our office, even if they're not young professionals in tech, our patients are very active and they're very proactive about their health. I think that's part of the reason
Hmm.
why they seek us out because they're like, I need to make a change.
Hmm.
So I definitely think that you will fit right in to our office and be able to serve the people that we end up seeing here at Emerald City Spinal Care. So yay! We're really excited to bring you on. As I mentioned earlier, on this recording, Dr. Brendon is going to be graduating next week. He's been fully trained and has taken the certification and proficiency exam as a student. So he is going to be very knowledgeable and proficient in the Blair technique, which again is just going to really help our patients. So we're really excited to have Dr. Brendon come on board as soon as he is done walking at Life University.
Mhm.
Dr. Brennan's going to be starting here at the end of June. So yeah, just really excited to have you. Before we finish up, I'm going to ask you very random questions, 5 very random questions, just so people watching this can just learn a little bit more about you. Is that all right?
Sure. Yeah, let's do
All
it.
right.
Okay.
All right. First question.
hmm
As a child, what did you
Mm.
want to be when you grew up?
Ooh, I'm okay. I know this is a lightning round, but that's a very oh,
Do you
hmm,
remember the very first thing you wanted to be?
very first thing. Not the very first thing I wanted to be. I definitely knew I wanted to be. The first thing, honestly, the first thing that comes to mind is I wanted to be a soldier. I wanted to be in the military, and I remember. I think the first thing that comes to mind is when I was 11. I said I was going to be in the military until I enlisted at 17, and so I guess I achieved that.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Next question. How
hmm
long would you last in a zombie apocalypse?
Forever. See, a lot of people think that they need to go, they need to go and get all these weapons, they need to get all this food and stuff yeah, that's important. Go to a museum. Go to
A
a
museum.
museum, go to a museum and get all the armor, the knight armor. You just hacked the system.
Uh,
How can they get you if
there,
you're wearing knight armor? Exactly.
there you go. Those of you watching, Dr. Brendon just gave you a hack on how to last forever in a zombie apocalypse. I love it.
Yeah.
Um, Next question. Where's your favorite place in the entire world and why?
I'm gonna be sentimental and I'm gonna say home with my family. I'm a very family-oriented person. I have strong family values. And I'll say that my home has changed a little bit now that I am recently engaged. So my home is with my fiance, and geographically, it's back home in the Midwest. But home, I believe, is where people are. So my new home is now in Seattle.
I love it. I love it. And next question. What's a movie that you can watch every day?
Dune,
Dune?
Dune, starring Timothy Chalamet. It's
Ah,
it's. I'm gonna say, if you have you seen it?
I have not. I'm gonna
Okay.
watch that this weekend.
Yeah, we're gonna watch
Never
it
heard
this
of it.
weekend, or we're gonna have a movie night in the office. We're watching Dune.
Okay.
Dune starring Timothy Chalamet. It's gonna be bigger than Star Wars, bigger than Lord of the
Ooh.
Rings. Ooh.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, Dune. I'm saying Dune.
All right. All right. And then last one. What
hmm
are 2 things still on your bucket list?
Ooh, travel outside of the United States is gonna be one of them. I haven't done that. And then next thing on my bucket list, or what are 2 things on my bucket list?
Mhm.
One, travel outside of the United States. Two, oh man, is it bad if I never put one together? You get
Uh,
these ideas of what you want to do. I don't guess I wouldn't call it a bucket list, but oh, you know what? Travel outside of the United States will be one of them. The second thing is, which is probably going to be more attainable. Well, maybe not, but skydiving.
Skydiving. Okay.
Yeah, I want to go skydiving and I want to try to skydive as high as possible. Like high as
Whoa.
like a civilian will be allowed to, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely
I
want to push it.
When it comes to traveling internationally, what are your top 3 countries that you want to visit?
Japan, Rome, and
always the last one that's a little harder.
I know. I'll go with Ireland.
Oh, nice. I love
Yeah.
it.
Hmm.
If skydiving is something that you want to do, there's definitely a place. I've had a number of patients go skydiving up north, like in Snohomish.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like farm country.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Uh, so,
Yeah.
yeah, it'll be awesome to see you cross those things off of your bucket list. If
Hmm.
we can get you to travel internationally, maybe while you're here. Have you been to Canada? Like some people don't count Canada or Mexico as international. But have you been to Canada or Mexico or like
I
really
have
no
not
international?
I have not been to Canada.
Okay.
My fiance and I are talking about going to Banff. I think that would be fun. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna go to Banff because her parents have actually gone a lot and they love it there. So I think we're gonna go. Um, we'll definitely be taking a trip to Canada. I think that's probably gonna be like one of the more first, not international, but kind of outside of the United States
I mean, it's still
is where we're
international.
gonna
You need a
go.
passport. Do you have a passport? I guess that's the first step.
Uh, no, I'm actually
No,
gonna get
okay.
a advanced license. You can get into Canada, I hear, with an advanced
Mm,
license.
well, I would say get a
Still get a passport?
passport. Yeah,
Okay.
that way you can go to Italy and you can go to
Yeah,
Ireland and Japan.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, awesome. Again, Dr. Brendon, we are so excited to have you join us. Again, those of you watching this, when you come into the office, you'll see Dr. Brendon in the office. Please make sure to say hi, welcome him. And again, if you have any coffee tips, any tips on getting over the sound from Poulsbo to Seattle, or yeah, if you can get him to go skydiving, I imagine
Hmm.
he would really like all of that. So,
Hmm.
any final
Absolutely.
words before we go, Dr. Brendon?
I'm super excited to meet the patients that are already coming into the office. I'm excited to serve the people of Seattle, and I'm ready to be a doctor, ready to be a chiropractor.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Well, that's all I have for you all today. See you soon. Bye.
See you soon.